What's up, guys? All right. At Jiu Jitsu this morning. So you know what that means. Time for another Jiu Jitsu diary. So, check it. Can you see college? Blue Mountain College? All right. Jiu Jitsu, especially when you're starting out, a lot of times you'll want to try to power through something. Like you'll get in a bad situation, and you're toast, right? And so you just try to use all your strength and muscle to get out. And sometimes that'll work if you're going against someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and you're just a lot stronger than them. But if you're going against somebody who knows what they're doing, it probably doesn't matter if you're stronger than them or not, right? Because you're just going to get yourself in a worse position because they just know how to respond to your movement. And, you know, this got me thinking. I did that a lot when I started out, and of course I still do it a lot now. Good grief, that light is bright. That sun. Okay. I still do it too much now, right? But starting to figure out, okay, I need to move here, I need to do this, that, whatever. And the key is not panicking and just kind of staying safe long enough for you to get into a better position. And, you know, if you think about when you have like a bad day or something bad happens, what are your emotions, right? Your emotions are just like a reaction to the situation. And oftentimes, they just hit us. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being angry, being sad. There's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling every emotion that's part of the human condition. But what happens is sometimes we respond a little too aggressively, or we let those emotions kind of control the situation. And maybe we just try to be strong. And sometimes that's okay. But sometimes we just need to be smart. We need to get ourselves in better positions. We need to understand that our emotions are nothing more than our reactions to things that have happened. You know, one man, he finds $1 on the ground. He might feel like he's rich because he had no money. Another man finds $1 on the ground and he just keeps walking. He doesn't even pick it up because it's not worth his time. You know, the same situation, but people respond differently based on what they've been through, what their circumstances are. But if you're having something negative happening, a situation, and you start to feel overwhelmed, just remember that you're in control. And try to step outside of the situation and don't let these negative responses build. Like these things where you start thinking, oh, this always happens to me, you know, or, well, I deserve this, or I'm never going to get better, or I'm never going to get this right. Because that's just your mind making it worse. And I was trying to explain this to my daughter. Now she's way too young to understand this, right? She's 7. But she was looking for something, couldn't find it, you know. And she was crying. And later I just sat down with her because I'd kind of gotten on to her for crying and throwing a big fit. And I just explained that what would be more useful is instead of crying about something, you know, not turning out the way you wanted, actually do something to fix it. And in this case, she was trying to find a helmet so she could ride her scooter. And, it wasn't just apparently obvious where the helmet was. So instead of just going around looking for it, she was throwing a big fit, right? So we sat down and discussed how going and looking for the helmet would actually solve the problem, but crying wouldn't. And again, probably too advanced for her, but she's pretty clever, and I think she's picking up on some of these things. So these things are easier said than done. I know that, okay? But when something happens to me that I get upset about, I let my emotions run and I feel them. I embrace my emotions, but then I decide if it's an emotion I want to continue experiencing or not. And when I decide I don't want to experience that emotion anymore, I do something to change it. And that's a skill that takes time to build. The first thing you need to do, though, is just realize when you're having an emotion that you don't want to experience anymore. And once you start realizing that you're experiencing, it's like you're almost seeing it in third person, right? Again, that's not going to just stop it. It's not going to take it away. But once you realize that this is an emotion that your brain is telling yourself to feel bad about, you can start to chip away at it, okay? And with time, if you practice some of this building this skill, you can get a lot better at it a lot quicker. Again, I'm definitely not perfect at this. I still get upset about things, and I allow myself to embrace those feelings. But look, in Jiu Jitsu, someone gets me in a bad position, I can flail around all I want. It's not going to help me. I have to be smart. I have to stay safe. I have to get myself in a better position, and that means keeping my mind intact, not panicking. Realizing, okay, I'm in a dangerous position, I'm about to get submitted, or I can move in a smart way to get myself out. And that's a skill, and it takes time to build, but you can do the same thing with your emotions. So when you don't get that promotion at work and you're upset, that's fine. Be pissed about it. But don't let that anger control you. At some point, you've got to disrupt that feeling, okay? You can't hold all this bitterness inside you and expect to be a happy, healthy person, okay? When your relationship doesn't work out like you wanted it to, your girlfriend breaks up with you, your boyfriend, whatever, be sad. It's okay. Embrace it. But you can't let that sadness turn into a deep depression. You've got to do something about it, okay? When your kid draws on the wall, and he gets that magic marker, and he writes all over your walls, you're going to be upset. You can't let that anger, cause you to do violence or harm. You've got to figure out a way to break it, okay? And sometimes parents' anger doesn't turn into physical violence, but it turns into abusive language, okay? You've got to figure out how to break that, and you can, okay? And these are the skills you can learn over time. So, all right, I've ranted long enough. This was a brief look into some Stoic philosophy mixed with Jiu Jitsu, and hope you guys have a great day.